So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for having us at AUSA to talk a little bit about what the Army Cyber Institute is. First thing you will see is that we have the West Point moniker up there. The Army Cyber Institute is at West Point and is an integral part of the superintendent's tools that we have there at West Point. And we are part of the teaching faculty as well as the research faculty for the entire cyber community. Go ahead, next slide. So our goal and our mission really is to come up with both impactful partnerships as well as to expand the knowledge in the cyber domain. We've been in place for about 4 years, as we were first founded in 2012, and then the groundbreaking there you'll see is in 2014, and we're continuing to work both partnerships as well as to work the expanding what we know about the cyber domain. So next. One of the things that General Fogarty came up with while he was down at the Cyber Center of Excellence was the notion of a cyber triad. And so we really have three components to what he viewed as the cyber enterprise. One, which is the operations being done by Army Cyber Command. One is the institutional work of the Army that needs to be done at the Cyber Center of Excellence. But then they also recognized that we had a need for innovation, and that innovation would be done at the Army Cyber Institute. We know that innovation is done across the entire enterprise, but to get a unit at West Point that would be a part of the educational domain, working on with the educational networks and getting the access to both industry as well as academia through the means that can only be done by the university system that we have at West Point. Next. So here I have some key things that we have done at the ACI. We're working to build intellectual capital and impactful partnerships. In the upper left, you see General Milley along with two of our young captains that came up with a way to defeat drones using a Raspberry Pi, essentially use a computer to hack the drone's control, take control of the drone and be able to turn it off. Something they were able to do in about a 2-week turn because they'd been playing with ways to, at distance, open locks. And so they were trying to figure out how to use their different kinds of antennas to open locks shooting across the Hudson Valley. And we have these young soldiers that are really excited to bring some of their maker mentality that they've had, and we get a chance to host them at the Army Cyber Institute and do some good work together. We also have people like Aaron Brantley, who is an expert, gets a chance to be on national media and explain some of the intricacies so we can work on that advise and the education mission of what cyber really means across the entire spectrum from the strategic to the tactical. We've got the Cyber Defense Review down with a journal which we run on cyber and everything to do with cyber operations. We have some copies of that here if anyone's interested. We're looking at having a world-class journal that gives an outlet for both our military leadership as well as for the academics in this field. And some of the things that we're working on right now, we're working with cyber support to Corps and below. One of the things we were doing was working with the OPFOR out there, trying to come up with innovative ways for them to do cyber operations. We're working on talent management with Army Cyber to figure out what is the best way to apply academic research towards what we're going to do with talent management in the future. And we are also continuing to work on cyber simulations and exercises. So I'll go to the next slide. One of the things we did is cyber stakes. This was with Carnegie Mellon, given an opportunity for the soldiers across the Army to participate in the stakes, one of the ways to find that hidden talent. But it was a cooperative effort with Carnegie Mellon. Next. We had Jackvoltaic. Jackvoltaic was an exercise we ran with New York City to get us opportunity to work across the different industry sectors and to try to figure out what a bad day in New York City would be. We worked with New York City on this. It came to the attention of the governor, of course, and so the next exercise we'll have, it will be run for the state of New York out of Albany. And then the state of New York will run this into their other cities. But we find a way and create a framework that can then be exported to other cities to how do you do the examination of your systems And one of the things that we believe will come out of this is that the governor of New York will be able to see what are the capabilities that they would want in their National Guard forces and how we could use those forces as a part of the defense support that we normally look at getting from the federal government, but how could the governor get that quicker from his own forces? Next. With one of the things we're working with Threatcasting with Arizona State University, where we're looking to see 10 to 15 years out what we'll really be working on. We're leveraging futurists at Arizona State University, the same kind that Intel has used to try to figure out what the chip design will be in the next 10 to 15 years. We use the same sort of techniques to try to figure out where we're going to be in the next 10 to 15 years and find ways to engage that partnership. And that's with Arizona State University. And then last, I'd like to talk about the COL US, which we hosted a conference about a week ago that was a large 2-day conference where we took a look at everything to do with cyber operations. And this was jointly done with the Cooperative Cyber Defense Center of Excellence, which is in Estonia, which is the NATO element that is working for NATO to try to figure out how to handle cyber warfare. And they've been running a conference for the last 9 years, and they were interested in bringing the conference to the United States. And so we hosted that with them. You see, we had an opportunity for Senator Warner to talk about the things to do with our Congress and with cyber, and about the new cyber caucus that they have in the Senate. We had General Alexander, which is always a privilege to hear him speak, and he did a fireside chat with Ted Koppel talking about the new ways of turning the lights out, which was really a fascinating opportunity. But I want to take an opportunity today just to tell you a little bit about the things that the Army Cyber Institute is doing, how we complement the Cyber Center of Excellence and Army Cyber Operations working together as a team, and then let you know that you can reach out and we're happy to talk more and work with you on what the Army Cyber Institute is doing for the work of cyber for our nation as well as our Army. Thank you.
How many officers is West Point commissioning into the cyber branch?
Yeah, so right now we're commissioning 15 a year. We have many more than that would like to commission. Right now it's a very competitive commissioning process. We want and believe that putting the cyber experience into all the branches is going to be beneficial, because some of the infantry officers are going to join us as cyber operators later, and the field artillerymen that have understood the nature of cyber are going to be that much better effects generators for us.
You got time for one question?
Yeah. Yeah, so the first year that we did cyber lieutenants, we commissioned 15 from West Point and 15 from ROTC. This year we've decided to increase the quota we gave to ROTC, and we pushed that up to 30 commissionees from ROTC and 15 from West Point. And another thing that we're doing is we brought ROTC cadets that are interested in cyber operations to West Point to do an academic development opportunity. So similar to the way we've sent the cadets down to the NSA to learn about what people are doing with cyber, we brought them up to West Point to actually study what the Army is doing with regard to cyber. But we're definitely working to expand the work that we found, what we created with the Cyber Leader Development Program at West Point, and then expand that to all of the ROTC programs, and especially all our senior military colleges.